Dobro jutro, Divine Pisces 222. It is Friday, December 27th, 2019. Do an energy check-in for the twin flames today and see what's going on. I know I was talking about it yesterday, I'm definitely feeling that shift, the role reversals, Divine Masculine in the feminine energy, Divine Feminine in the masculine energy. And I know I'm not the only one, the only reader who has picked up on this. So I find it very interesting. It's almost like we're kind of back to, at least in my situation, it's almost like I'm back to where I was, because I was in my masculine energy for a very, very long time. And those who know me know that to be true. And so learning to embrace the feminine side, was a bit of a transition for sure. So now it's like kind of back to where it was. Now that I learned how to balance out the feminine energy, I'm like switching back into my masculine energy for the time being. It's really, really interesting. Sorry, it's a little like bright in here. Okay, yeah, so birthing a new age. I feel like a huge shift happening right now with the twins, and actually in the connections, but specifically within the twins themselves. There's a huge transformation happening, role reversals happening. I feel like a lot of information coming through, a lot of aha moments, synchronicities, signs, things like that. It's like basically the divine really just stepping in and being like, okay, so here's where we're going next, right? And I do feel like Divine Feminine is really following that right now, and speaking out and embracing her truth and living her truth, integrating her truth. And a lot of Divine Feminines at this point are really, really in their element right now. I feel a lot of Divine Feminines are stepping into mission, are going in a new direction with their mission. Like really kind of embracing change as it comes and integrating it within themselves and in their lives. And I do feel still some blockage in the throat chakra, specifically for Divine Masculine. Duh. So they are having some trouble speaking their truth for sure. And I'm not even really necessarily talking about to their counterpart, just in general, to people around them. Not speaking their truth at all, or having a hard time doing that. But they are seeing the light. I mean, it's just like more and more and more information coming through. I do feel Divine Masculine's probably getting very intense dreams right now. They may not even really fully remember the dreams. They may remember elements from the dreams that are significant. Possibly, though, not really fully able to interpret what they're seeing, but remembering what they're seeing, and evaluating it. I do feel that. So the foundations for the connection, they're there, okay? And they're growing here. And Divine Feminine is pretty much seeing the light in her own situation as well within the connection. That's why a lot of Divine Feminines have stepped away, right, and are really standing in their priestess power right now. Pretty much just not taking any crap from anyone, not even herself, not taking crap from her ego, telling it to shut the F up for the most part, and just like moving forward accordingly. So I do feel this coming in very strongly for Divine Feminine. And I find it interesting that here we're highlighting here the solar plexus, okay, or the navel chakra, which to me is, instead of signifying triggers, which there may still be triggers around Divine Feminine, don't get me wrong, I mean, I've had my share of towers within the last couple of weeks, but I'm feeling more, it's more like self-confidence, feeling comfortable within themselves, within their own skin, comfortable enough to know that they don't have to take any crap from anybody, right? Feeling free. Probably feeling freer than they ever had in their entire life, right? Not wanting to feel stuck in the situations anymore, so they're releasing themselves. They're releasing the cycles. They're releasing the outcomes. They're just saying, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I've come too far to be tied down by nonsense, by negativity, by fear, by doubt, right? And conversely, we have Divine Masculine, who is wanting so bad to free themselves, like spiritually wanting to free themselves from the situations they're in, seeing them as the toxic situations that they are, and still feeling like they have to hang on. So what's happening here? Tower. A lot of Divine Masculines going through towers right now. Divine Feminine too. Like I said, I've had my share within the last couple of weeks. I'm still going through one right now. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Let's just say I know with another. I've had obviously more than one karmic situation I have to deal with. So I've already kind of dealt with one. I've got to deal with another one. So, you know, there's never just one. Okay. So that being said, you know, towers happening, transformations happening, foundations that no longer serve the twins being forced to come down. And so what this is doing is it's bringing in a new trust within themselves, a new trust with their higher selves, trust with their spirit team, trust with source, and trust in the journey and in the connection itself for both twins. Okay, it's not just Divine Feminine, not just Divine Masculine. Okay, Divine Feminine, a lot of Divine Feminines are pretty much in full surrender. Pretty much. Like, just kind of giving it up, saying, you know what, no, I'm just done. I've been trusting it this far, it's gotten me this far, so I'm just going to keep trusting it and just let the universe, basically let things happen as they're supposed to happen, right? And I do feel a lot of Divine Feminines seeing results because of that. Like, when you fully surrender, when you fully just kind of give it up, and you're just like, you know, enough is enough, tired of fighting, basically. Which, you know, it's hard for me to release because I'm definitely a fighter. Pretty much my entire life, I've had to fight for what I want out of anything, life, whatever. And so having that feeling of saying, you know what, I can't fight this one. That's a pretty big thing for me, and anybody who knows me knows that's true. I'll fight tooth and nail, pretty much for anything. So Divine Masculine, yeah. Okay, so yeah, Divine Masculine still. I'm feeling some manipulation coming in with Divine Masculine. Now, some Divine Masculines may be manipulating their karmic situation. They may be manipulating themselves, okay? When you're in self-deception and you're in ego, and ego's telling you one thing and the universe is telling you something else, and then the ego's kind of taking over saying, you know, don't listen to that, listen to me. You know, it kind of is a back and forth, I do feel, within themselves. Okay, so a lot of Divine Masculines are still in inner conflict, but also could be manipulating or trying to manipulate Divine Feminine, and that could be why, you know, a lot of Divine Feminines have just kind of walked away. You've just had enough, you know, and there's only so much you can take, right? But then, you know, got the Two of Cups. So Divine Masculine, and I do feel like it's been like a weird shift within the last couple months. I'm going to say probably since October is when I've been really feeling it. The shift into understanding the connection and feeling the connection and understanding it for what it is. Okay? It's twin flame connection is a whole new level. Right? Because the whole point of it is your happiness, understanding who you are and fulfilling yourself. Okay? And only when you do that, only when you come into inner union within yourself can you have physical union. And some twins, honestly, let's be honest, not all twins end up in 3D union. Okay? Because that's not the point. The only time where that's the point where the physical union is part of the journey is if your souls agree to it before you incarnate. Okay? So keep that in mind. That's why it's so important to release control, because and this is going to sound harsh, but 3D union is not intended for every single set of twins. Okay? And that's the hard reality. That's the hard fact, right? It's really about yourself, about your own happiness, okay? And so I do feel that Divine Masculine is waking up to this. They're understanding this. They do want to free themselves. They don't know how, still. They still don't know how. And, you know, I do feel a lot of 5D communication, dreams and stuff like that really, really amped up for the last... Again, I'm saying, like, for the last couple of months, I do feel this across the board, just across the collective, like a really strong pull to communicate in the 5D, reaching out for help. But it's like, you know, Divine Feminine's like, all right, well, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing my thing. I know you see me. So what's the problem, right? So again, that's kind of one of the reasons Divine Feminine's like, nope, I'm done. So now some Divine Feminines... You know, there's still a third party involved with some Divine Feminines as well, okay? So keep that in mind. But I do feel some, again, Divine Masculine, there are some third party situation. And again, that doesn't have to be a person, okay? So take it as it resonates. Could be an addiction, could be a job, could be a family, could be family, religion, whatever. Okay, it's basically a third party is a wedge in the connection. That's what a third party is. So it doesn't have to be a person. So I am feeling... Still some third-party situations happening here. And like I said, you know, you can have more than one karmic situation, okay? Just because you resolve one doesn't mean that there's not more that need to be dealt with, okay? So there may be more than one here. There may be more than one. And so, you know, what I feel is happening also with Divine Masculine is they're wanting really, really bad to be victorious within themselves. To be victorious with the connection. But again, it's like they're just going back and forth, okay? And so shifting into the feminine energy, you know, is kind of going to help them be a little bit more receptive to the spiritual aspect of things, a little more receptive to their spirit team and what their spirit team is trying to tell them, what source is trying to show them, the towers that are coming in that are trying to clear away the junk, basically, so that they can ascend and they can move forward, right? They can move forward in truth, and that's the point. Move forward in your truth. Speak your truth. Integrate your truth. And don't let ego come into play and completely destroy everything you've built. And so with that, you know, basically comes that inner union. Comes that celebration within yourself, right? Comes the strength to 8 of Cups. Okay? So you can 8 of Cups, the things that you need to walk away from in order to embrace your inner happiness with the Ace of Cups. Basically being able to fulfill yourself without anyone else. Okay? So Divine Masculine, definitely switching into the feminine role here, into the feminine energies. And it's very apparent to me just in general, and I'm not even talking just twin flame connections, just in general, the masculine and feminine energies are switching back and forth right now. Okay? And so, but yeah, I do feel Divine Masculine still watching Divine Feminine. Now, some of them are spying, some of them are literally stalking. I do feel some people are literally being stalked. But also, like, in the 5D, definitely being watched, okay? Now, a lot of them know they can do that. A lot of them know they understand the 5D communication. And that could be why there's such an uptick in the 5D communication in general. Because I do feel a lot of them know they can do it. And it's scary. It's probably a little freaky. But yeah. Okay, so Divine Feminine. Wow, okay. Yeah, Divine Feminine's like, no, I'm done. I had enough. Basically cutting through the bullshit at this point, and basically seeing it for what it is within all situations, karmic situations, twin flame journey, whatever. Seeing the truth for what it is, seeing the lack of clarity from divine masculine, the lack of truth, the deception, and standing in her own and saying no, 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 no. You're not going to trigger me anymore. And I do feel that, like, divine feminine's, like, done with the trigger. She's like, I don't want to deal with that anymore. I'm not going to let that happen anymore, right? Now, triggers are still going to come, especially the ones that, you know, are necessary to move forward. But, you know, sometimes you can get yourself into an energy where you're constantly being triggered over and over again because your ego's coming in, right? So once you get into a point where you don't let those sort of things affect you, that's when you kind of have control over the trigger itself. And I do feel, again, you know, a lot of communication coming in for divine feminine. And it could be with your counterpart, but I'm getting more spiritual communication. And we got some mirroring here, okay? So the more spiritual communication is kind of leading to that inner alignment. A lot being illuminated, definitely right now. A lot of signs, synchronicity. Just like, I feel it's almost overwhelming. I feel like a lot of divine feminines are seeing things probably... I'm getting the number 4 or 5 times maybe a day or something like that, where you're like seeing stuff and it's like you're constantly seeing it. And it kind of gets to the point where you're just like, I know, whatever. But I still feel some codependency coming in for divine feminine. And again, this could be with a karmic situation, which could not, it doesn't have to be a person, okay? But there's probably still some more codependency that divine feminine is dealing with, and divine masculine is dealing with this too. Okay, so we're mirroring here. All right, I think I mentioned this yesterday, like an example, basically. So if your divine masculine is stuck in a karmic situation where they're codependent, maybe they're holding on to it for the time being because they're not financially stable, whatever. Maybe, you know, divine feminine, maybe you're in a job that you hate because of the money, because you feel like you have to be there. So it manifests different, but it's the same thing. It's the same situation. Okay, so keep that in mind. And that's what I mean by third party. You know, there's a third party still. There's still a wedge here on both sides, okay? But I do feel divine feminine wanting to move forward. Like, she just doesn't want to be stuck anymore. And she's found the motivation to move forward, the strength to move forward, regardless of what divine masculine does. And that right there is basically surrender. It's basically, you're at the point where, you know what, it doesn't really matter what happens as far as the 3D goes. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I'm moving forward regardless. So, you know, basically, bye. Yeah, doesn't, you know, basically doesn't. I feel maybe a lot of divine feminines are basically done playing the stupid games just in general within herself, within any situation that she's in, whether it be karmic or the connection, whatever. Pretty much just done playing stupid games at this point. And basically turning her back. I do feel a lot of divine feminines turning their backs right now, especially on divine masculine, which, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You got to consult your inner guidance on that one, okay? And I know some divine feminines have cut off 5D communication. And again, that's up to you. Like, if it's hurting you, if it's something that you feel is being is codependent and it's a toxic behavior, then, you know, do what you got to do. It doesn't work for every set of twins, though, okay? So, messages here, you know. Definitely getting still a little bit of this obsession coming in, and if that's on your end, you might want to check that. Okay, because that's toxic. I do feel a lot of divine feminines are just done. Bring on 2020, guys. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be a very transformative year. And it's my number, 2020, too. Can't make this shit up. Alright, let's get some messages and advice. Oh, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely still some toxicity here. Um, Addiction, escapist tactics, codependency, things like that, toxicity coming in. I do feel a lot of divine masculines may actually be drinking or partaking in something to help them deal with stuff externally. So that's still an issue coming in, and that could be your third party. Okay, so keep that in mind. But they are, believe it or not, they are trying to balance stuff out. It's very, very difficult, I do feel, especially around the holidays, especially if some of them have families, children, things like that. Trying to balance that stuff out. And it's really, really difficult. But I do feel balance coming for Divine Feminine. I do feel that, like, strongly. A lot of Divine Feminines are already there. They're just, there. And so, that being said, like I did mention earlier, there's still a very strong 5D connection happening right now. And I do feel a lot of divine masculines are still reaching out for help from divine feminine. At least their higher selves are. And that's coming in very, very strong. And I do feel they're recognizing their role in this connection, okay? But they want freedom and they don't. They feel like they can't have it. They're not worthy of it, okay? And Divine Feminine's like, well, I know I'm worthy of it, so I'm just going to keep going, right? So embrace your freedom. Embrace the freedom that you have right now. Use it to your advantage. Use the energies, the lifting of the energies, because I do feel Divine Feminines, a lot of Divine Feminines are vibing really, really high right now. But you're definitely being guided. You're being protected right now, and just trust that because it's true. So, if you feel lost, if you feel like you're not sure what to do, reach out to your spirit team. Okay, but yeah, a lot of Divine Feminines taking a time out from the connection right now. They just are. Okay, and some Divine Masculines are too. Some Divine Masculines may have stepped away, put up boundaries, gone into hermit mode, trying to figure this stuff out. Some of them may be very, very quiet right now. I mean, that's just the back and forth thing, and heart chakras are opening, and that's been going on for a while. And that can be very, very painful. It brings up a lot of things. It brings up inner child wounds, brings up past life stuff. It brings up, emotions that may be very, very uncomfortable for Divine Masculine, and especially if they're switching into the feminine energy, they're going to be feeling those emotions a lot more. Okay, so but they are trying to figure out how to move forward. And I would also I am definitely getting advice that some of you may need to do some heart chakra clearings, not activations, but clearings. I do feel still some closed off heart chakras for Divine Masculine, but they are opening. And just at this point, I know there's a lot of doubt coming in still for Divine Feminine. Even though she's standing in her power, she knows who she is, blah, 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 blah. There's still some doubt coming in, just in general, about her journey, okay? So I definitely, I'm just going to say to keep going forward. If you need help navigating, again, reach out to your spirit team, because you are being guided right now. You are being protected, so you're not alone, so don't feel alone, okay? All right. Well, I hope this helped. If it has, please like, share, subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.